fly, so y'all get to see the real deal of how we do this here in DeKalb County. Okay, so once again, this is the monthly Community Resource Network meeting for DeKalb County. I am going to put the Google sign-in form in the list. Make sure you fill that out so you can know who is here. And I guess for me. So we have a small, intimate, in-person group, but so yeah, we have 15 people online. So I know a lot of times it's easier to go through. So we are recording. So if this is your first time attending the DeKalb Resource Network meeting, please raise your hand, and I will get to you. Was that okay? I see I got you, Crystal, Sandra, Arlene. This is your first time as well. Hey, Howard. So,
how are you?
Great. Okay, so Midnight Comics. Are you who was the representative from Midnight Comics? I think I heard a male voice speak from there.
Yeah, this is Natasha's husband, Lloyd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Okay, cool. All righty. So here we are. It is 12:06. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Reginald Johnson. I am the board chair for the DeKalb Community Resource Network meeting, as well as I do community marketing for CareSource. We are a nonprofit health insurance company for families who get Medicaid and Peach Care for Kids. So I do sort of do both things because this is things that affect CareSource and also DeKalb County. So we do this every second Monday. I'm going to go ahead and start from the top because I say I want to make sure that Ms. Glenda Hicks from 501c Impact has her full time to share what she has to do. So right now, Crystal from Melanated Pearl, you are the first person I see up. So please come in and introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. Crystal Perry from Melanated Pearl, the CEO. Our mission is to educate, uplift, and empower. We are celebrating 5 years of service, predominantly in Clayton County, looking to possibly expand. We have most recently placed 150 people during the winter months and helped 78 families with eviction prevention. We currently are in a case study with 5 families. We moved from hotel to home and are looking to partner with Clayton County Public Schools to adopt 25 families for FY6 to stay with them with 12 months and wraparound services. Reginald also serves on my board, and I graduated from DeKalb School, Cedar Grove, 96, and I'm a graduate of Agnes Scott, so I'd be so happy to be able to get into DeKalb to serve people.
I'm gonna have to meet you for that Cedar Grove.
We still champions. Thank you. Okay.
I don't recognize it. But anyway, no, seriously though, but for real, thank you very much. As she said, she does do a lot of work surrounding rehoming and helping displaced individuals in Clayton County. So as I said, we are working to get some of the stuff. Yeah, so we're looking to get some of that activated in DeKalb County as well. So Miss Sandra Latimer, would you please see your hand up? Would you please introduce yourself to the people and tell them who you are and what you do?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Sandra Latimer. I work here at the DeKalb County Board of Health. I work as the Community Research Coordinator. So one of the programs I work on deals with addressing COVID-19 disparities and doing research and helping the community better understand everything that's going on, providing educational materials, information, and everything like that. Also, I am a part of what's called the CURTSI Community Action Board, so that deals with community urban research, development, sustainability, and evaluation. And I'm also born and raised here in DeKalb County, graduated from Southwest DeKalb, went on to Mercer and Emory, and so I'm super excited to be here and be a part of this hub, this community network.
Okay, Southwest DeKalb. I got to see you too. Okay, cool. So we got nice little DeKalb. Okay, well, I graduated from Avondale, which is now the DeKalb School of the Performing Arts, but it was just Avondale High School back then, which still was the greatest high school in DeKalb County. I'm gonna stand
Oh
on
my
that.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Look, okay, I know people are joking. I'm like, I'm gonna be 50 years old this year. I really don't. It's just some jokes stuff.
Southwest has the best band in the land, though. So
So with that said, I'm going to move on to the next hand I see raised, Arlene. Miss Arlene Duncan, please come on and tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arlene Duncan. I am with a women's awareness campaign. We are 100% Black-owned, all natural sanitary napkins and panty liners. So we are educating men and women, because men have wives and daughters as well, what's inside the store brands, which is recycled trash that they bleach and dye to make it look white. And we have an all-natural product that is really changing the way women experience their monthly flow. So we definitely want to buy healthy.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, the next person I see is Mr. Frederick Holloman. Please come in and introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frederick Holloman, and I am the coordinator for the Men's Health Initiative here at DeKalb County Board of Health. So I do work in partnership with Ms. Lattimore, Sandra Lattimore. So we work in the same office out of the Health Assessment and Promotion Office. And my primary focus is men's health and men's care. And that involves several initiatives, the task force, which we are rebooting and starting back up. It involves the men's health clinic. It involves hypertension program. It also involves FOR, which is Fathers Offering Resources and Education. And so I've been in the role since July, technically. And so there's a lot of work to be done. And one of the things that I'm noticing right away is the fact that men are not calling for services. It's their wives and their mothers and their sisters that are calling. Men are rarely calling, but they're leading in terms of chronic diseases. And so my goal is to put a dent in that and to bring awareness to the community. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. And when is we have the meeting upcoming for the task force for anybody who wants to attend that? When is that?
It is September the 28th from 2 to 3. And I can send out an invite for those that are interested in participating.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And again, I did put the Google form, the sign-in sheet in the chat again. So make sure if you came in and not see it before, put your contact information in there. Like I said, I will make sure that the people who are here in person gets that, and I will collect that information to share along with everyone else. Okay, I see Mr. Howard Burkhead. This is I know it's your first time joining us here in DeKalb County. Please come on and introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
All right, it is my first time. I'm Howard Burkhead. I'm actually with Primerica Financial Services. I teach financial education, do financial planning.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, so you can I know Howard is a really good partner from the Atlanta Black Chamber. I know he's always coming out and I love he didn't say his he didn't give his usual spiel, but I love when he says most people are afraid of living too long and not having enough money, or dying too soon and not leaving enough money for your something like that.
Loved ones,
but,
correct.
Loved ones, yes, but which is something that people don't think about. So I'm definitely glad that you were able to come on and tell the people, share who you are. Okay, I'm going to go Midnight Comics. I know your wife was here before, so I know you were here. So tell people, introduce yourself and tell some of the people who may not have heard what you all do from her and share what you all do there.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, my name is Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics, Atlanta's first and largest Black family-owned indie comic book and manga publisher. And our hopes are to try and promote literacy in the school systems via comic books and the various stories that we tell, while still putting Black representation and people of color to the forefront of our stories.
Okay, yes, and I have seen I have seen a couple of the comics. They are really awesome. So really working on trying to get some things popping in the community. So invite you all out. And I do see new name, Miss Tawana Reeves Ligon. Please come on and introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tawana Reeves Ligon. I actually come on behalf of Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta. I'm an area executive with Girl Scouts. I serve troops I'm one of 3 area executives in DeKalb County. I serve troops in the Stone Mountain area, Lithonia Redan, and then Southeast DeKalb, which would be kind of like Stonecrest, where Arabia High School is, that area. I function in my organization to help recruit not only new girls, but also new adult volunteers. And I support all of our troops and our volunteers in those areas, whether it's through, resources, training, assistance, whatever it is that they need so that we can put forth our program. Our mission is building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. So I always tell people we're kind of known for crafts, camp, and cookies, but it's courage, confidence, and character that matter to me when it comes to the girls. I also personally represent an organization called Your Royal Hiney LLC. We are a mother and daughter run luxury portable restroom company here in Metro Atlanta. Yeah, Reggie, I don't think we ever had a chance to talk about that. But as far as my mother and I are aware, we think we are the only Black women-owned portable restroom company in the Southeast. We've been to quite a few conferences and conventions, and nobody else has met Black women who own portable restrooms and are, doing it at the level that we are in Metro Atlanta. So we're very honored by that.
Okay, because I was about to ask you, are you the mother or the daughter? So I guess you can say you are the daughter part of the mother-daughter team.
Yes,
So,
I am the daughter part of the mother-daughter team.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so that took us about 10 minutes. So I'm going to since we are relatively small number, I'm going to go through and let everyone else introduce themselves. Then we can get to Miss Grace. Grace, Glinda, I'm looking at. But since I mentioned your name, Grace, I will give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Grace and I'm with Division of Child Support Fatherhood Program. It's an employment-based program with the Division of Human Services.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you had the opportunity to join us here. Okay, my man Jalen Husband, please come on and introduce yourself. Tell people who you are and what you do.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jalen Hudson. I'm a CHW Chronic Disease Coordinator for the DeKalb Hospital Authority, the owners of the Grady Healthcare System. And basically, we work with individuals to provide different referrals. They can be for housing, rental assistance, for health needs, social needs, all those different type of needs. So it's what we do. And particularly, I focus with in DeKalb County. So I work with men's health. I work with faith-based organizations. I work with the general population. I work with senior citizens. And those are the different areas that I focus in with DeKalb County. And this weekend, we're having an event. I'll make sure I drop that in the chat. We're having a Medicaid unwinding event in DeKalb County. So it's going to be an event that and people can come out and connect with resource navigators to check their status on whether they still qualify for Medicaid.
Okay, yeah, I'm sharing it. Can y'all see this?
Thank you. Yep, that's the flyer right there.
Okay, I'm trying to scroll down. Yeah, and some of y'all couldn't see, but that was Jason Beard, who was the market president. So that's like everybody cares. So we all work with him. So I was glad he was able to see that I'm here working. So so yeah. So as you can see, this is this Saturday 16th at okay, that's a Greater Fellowship Baptist Church. That's around the corner from not too far from where we are.
Yep, Greater Fellowship Baptist Church this Saturday from 10 to 1. We'll have free food, different resources, a bouncy house, things for the community to come out and, learn more about Medicaid, unwinding or the disenrollment of Medicaid, and for individuals to check their status.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, the next name I see is Miss Justine Ferreira from DeKalb CASA. Please introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hello, everybody. I am Justine. I'm the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator with the DeKalb County Court Appointed Special Advocates Program, or CASA. So I recruit, screen, and support our volunteers who serve our foster children.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. And Miss Nadine Ali, who is also one of our board members for the DeKalb Initiative for Children and Families. Please come on and introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Reginald. Co-founder of South Carolina Neighborhood Advocates, which is a health and wellness organization. We definitely serve the community information, do events in reference to all the health and wellness, whether it's mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, nutritional. So we've always been out there in the community serving, and love to continue to collaborate with you all. Thank you, Reginald.
Okay, and I know you may not serve in a role again, but I know you're also very active in making sure people are registered to vote and being politically active. So
thank you so much.
So if y'all have any
that. I forgot about that. You're right. Most important thing besides South Carolina Neighborhood Advocates is registering people to vote, get civically inclined. And also we have several events coming up. Definitely share that flyer. I'm not for certain. I know Sabrina and myself, we are sister organizations that help one another. I didn't know if she's going to talk about her. I know she's going to talk about a book signing. So I'll leave that. Thank you, Reginald, for that. Vote. We got election coming up. So everybody let your family, friends know. Get registered. And I have my information that you can contact me, on the list as well. Again, thank you, Reginald.
You are so welcome. Okay, and speaking of, Miss Sabrina, you can come in and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Sabrina Kirkland. I'm the founder of Seed Life Foundation, where we educate, advocate, and train against human trafficking, teen dating violence, bullying, and for child safety. We do trainings on said subjects. We also have a self-defense class called Beauty and the Beatdown. After we train you about human trafficking and bullying and domestic violence and all that kind of stuff, we train you how to protect yourself. And we partner with Professor Creedle, who's a martial arts and self-defense specialist. Also partnering with Miss Nadine Ali, which is our sister organization for South Carolina Neighborhood Advocates. And this, on the 19th, coming up, we have a book signing, but the book signing is a public safety awareness, and it is about all the things that our teens, let's just say people in general, but I say teens because that's what we work with, are doing behind the wheel, and that's texting while driving, drinking, doing drugs, street racing, and road rage. And so, as you all know, you're seeing that a lot. As soon as you turn on the news or you have a news article that will pop up, that's the subject, or that's the topic. This past weekend, I don't know if you all realized or you saw it, on Labor Day weekend, we lost 21 youth in road accidents. They lost their lives. So we're just bringing awareness to this and just wanting to come together as a community to talk about what can we do to bring more safety and safety on the road for our children. So thank you. And that is September the 19th at Results Central. And thank you.
Okay, and that's is that the Results Central at
Harrison Road and West Chapel.
Yeah, Maurice's place.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I think I sent that out, but make sure I get the flyer for that. Okay, that should be everybody online. We're going to introduce the people who are here for us in person. So I'm going to start with you, Caroline.
Hello, I'm Caroline Leuchner. I am Whiteford Health Center's Community Outreach Coordinator. At Whiteford Health Center, we promote health equity by offering affordable health care for dental, behavioral, and primary care. We offer all of our services on a sliding scale fee, and no one's turned away regardless of the.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Olivia Austin. I work with Cadre, Communities Aligned for Deeply Rooted Elderhood. It is a startup project working to create a village concept in the city of East Point, DeKalb County, but I'm always looking for resources that can serve our elderly community, as well as be folks to have people that live in East Point, that would like to volunteer and be a part of our project as we get started. I also am an experienced community professional seeking a full-time permanent role.
Okay, that's cool. Yes, y'all heard, and Olivia, she is awesome. So y'all out there, you know, get her. Okay, so that is everybody. So now we are moving into the portion of we're moving into the presentation part of the Human Resource Network meeting. So I'm going to give the microphone to Ms. Linda Gates, who will explain to everybody what they do.
So much, Red. I'm happy to be here with you all today. I am Linda Hicks, and I am a nonprofit capacity building consultant. Starting out as a CPA, I have two companies that I provide these services to. So I have Glenda White Hicks CPA, and I have 501c Impact, which I created separately because I designed and developed a board game, which is an experiential learning opportunity for adults to teach them how to properly serve on the board of directors of a not-for-profit organization. So what I wanted to talk to you about today really are some hot buttons that I see in the nonprofit space and some of the work that I do in that space. In general, I provide coaching, consulting, assessment, and training services between the two companies. And again, focusing on not-for-profit organizations, I collaborate with a couple of other colleagues and serve some for-profit organizations in that capacity, but my heart is really with not-for-profit organizations and really helping them to build their capacity in a couple of ways. One, at the board of directors, where the frustrations exist between probably the board chair who's charged with stewarding the board and the CEO, executive director, who's charged with managing and running the organization, and the two of them collaborating and trying to get the board to come alongside them and really execute and fulfill their roles and responsibilities. And what I find is luckily, a lot of citizens want to serve on boards of nonprofit organizations. Unfortunately, they're not adequately trained or informed in many cases, because a lot of times when you start a nonprofit, you're looking for people who align with your vision, which is fantastic. And you're looking for those three folks that you can put on the application with the IRS that will get you that tax exemption. But over time, as you grow and go through your life cycle of the nonprofit, you recognize that you need more from your board, and you really need them to function in a stewardship capacity, which is their fiduciary responsibility. And so I come in and help them to understand how to take what they know and align it with how they execute it. But what I found was there's so many of us out there, consultants and trainers, who are doing similar work, and yet the problems persist. You have perhaps board members who don't show up to meetings. They come to meetings, but they don't meet their minutes. They're not prepared. They're not out in the community making connections for that director to help you to raise money. They may not come to the events of the organization. They might not even fully understand the programs that you're offering through your organization. And so helping them to learn those things and then figure out, how do I implement this and what tools are available to me, is a large part of what I do. The other side is coaching the executive director. and helping them to work in collaboration with the with the board chair and with individual board members, because as a CEO, you really want to have some go-to resources on your board. I mean, after all, that's why you brought them on the board, for their expertise. And you want to be able to tap into that and feel comfortable and confident in communicating with them when you need that subject matter expertise. So a lot of it is about coaching the CEO and standing them up to feel stronger and empowered as they navigate those waters with their board members. Another area that I'm seeing a lot of activity, if you will, in nonprofit space is working with the employees. Since COVID, everything has changed. It's upside down, and employees are still trying to find their way and determine what they want, how do they fit it into their organization. But at the same time, it's about, you know, what are you doing for me and how can this work for me and how am I being fulfilled as an employee? And we like to think that things are much better in the nonprofit space because they have this large heart and compassion for the community. And that, you know, it's not as cutthroat as for-profit, for example. And so you have these stereotypes. And yet there's a lot of folks in the nonprofit space as employees who need coaching. And it's not just about coaching those leaders that have titles of leaders or managers, but it's coaching staff to help them understand that in whatever role they have, whether it's a project coordinator or a team contributor, they are a leader. And so with my coaching certifications, I come in and provide coaching to staff through a cohort concept. There are some clients where I'll start with the cohort and go into one-on-one, but typically it's doing staff collectively in a training environment that includes the coaching. And it's a way to change the culture. Culture is a hot topic in organizations now, and it's always been there, but organizations have been able, really, to be quite honest, to get away with a lot of things and ignore culture and just tell employees, come to work, do your job, you're getting paid, it's all good. But again, because of the pandemic, it allowed people to look at themselves and say, is this really right for me? Am I really happy here? And now there's a talent problem. So companies, nonprofit and for-profit, are having huge challenges in the talent acquisition space and talent retention. And a lot of that retention is attributable to how well the leadership is communicating with their staff, empowering their staff to own their work, understanding how to lead them to a common shared vision and not just tell them this is what we do or this is how we're going to do it, but really enveloping them into the mission, the vision, and the values. So I'm working with an organization right now where it's been a few years process where we're getting the board where they need to be in terms of understanding their roles and responsibility. Now we're updating their mission to make it more succinct and relevant and to ensure that it's accurate as to what they do. We created a vision statement for them, which they didn't have before. And we've created value statements. And right now we're at the point where we're involving the staff in opining on, do they agree with those value statements? And what are their personal value statements? And does the board need to add more to the list that they've come up with by going through the process that I took them through in terms of identifying the values of the organization? So in terms of coaching, it's really about coaching leaders to be stronger in their work, which we kind of understand is a given, but coaching employees to recognize that everyone matters, everyone's important, and it's part of how you include them. When we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we look at some of the obvious indicators of that acronym, but some of the less spoken ones are just including and empowering your employees. And when I have done assessments with boards as part of their strategic planning process, we've done surveys and we've put things out to the staff, and the feedback that we've gotten from them is that, you know, some of them feel like it's actually a hostile environment, or they feel like they're not being supported, or they're not included in meetings. So there's this undertone, this undercurrent that's occurring in nonprofit organizations, very similarly to what's occurring in the for-profit space, from the perspective of proper leadership. And with the nonprofits, that really begins with the board of directors. the internal senior leader, which is that chief executive or executive director, and then the frontline folks who are delivering services. So I try to concentrate with organizations on ensuring that the roles and responsibilities are understood and executed, that the leadership is equipped and empowered, that the staff feel like they're included. And then when it comes to recruiting for the board, the succession, how do you do that effectively? Another pain point that I hear all the time from organizations is, I need good board members. And the question is, well, what's a good board member? A good board member is someone who knows what they're signing up for. And then when they come, they perform. But how do you find them? So one of the things I work alongside organizations with is to help them develop a written process that lays out, how do we find board members? What is that 9-step process? And I do use a 9-step process, which emanates from Board Source, which is a national nonprofit whose mission is to build the capacity of nonprofit organizations, and is the entity from whom I have my certified governance credential in terms of helping with organizations. So, you know, I didn't focus a lot in the outset of this little presentation about my journey, but all of this emanated from starting in public accounting. I am a CPA. I started with Coopers & Lybrand, which at the time was, which now is PricewaterhouseCoopers. And of course, I worked for for-profit and nonprofit clients. But when I left, I did it because I felt like there was more I needed to do and wanted to do in terms of giving to the community. And I went to a not-for-profit, which was the University of Miami. Huge, not quite a community-based organization, but a major university. But then when I left there, I went to an HIV/AIDS not-for-profit organization as their controller and became their interim executive director while we merged with another not-for-profit. So I had that experience, painful as it was, tear-inducing as it was, to try to merge our not-for-profit with another. And then I started my own practice and felt like I was ready to help other organizations. And as it turned out, every referral I received was a not-for-profit organization. So eventually I realized this is my calling, this is my space. And I helped them in their finance area. And with finance and accounting, everything's going to pass through there at some point. You're hiring staff, you're doing grant applications, you're paying your vendors, you're acquiring new property, you're managing donations, you're sending out proper acknowledgments for those donations to be in compliance with the IRS. Pretty much everything that happens in a nonprofit at some point is going to run through the accounting and finance department. And having come from the audit side, I was on the audit side of things in public, I had this propensity for process, procedure, internal controls, checks and balances. Having read tons of contracts, which I hated at the time, I was always given the function of reviewing the permanent files, as we called them as an auditor when I first started. Now I appreciate that because I deal with so many contracts in terms of working with clients, and I get through them so much more quickly than I did back then as a newbie out of college. But it really has been helpful to me and to strengthen my capabilities and competencies, along with additional training that I've received since then, to then recognize that I could help nonprofits more holistically and not just in the finance department. Although I still do some of that in terms of internal controls, helping you prepare for an audit and being that liaison between your auditor, which I don't do audits anymore, and the nonprofit itself. But it's really about just trying to be behind the scenes, if you will, to stand up the work that you do as nonprofit organizations. And those of you that are for-profit that are on the call in the meeting today, I work with you as well in the sense that I train your employees to serve on boards. So through the 501c Impact Company, I have public training workshops where I'm building a pipeline. And so eventually we'll have a database at our company where if you've gone through the training as an individual to serve on the board, you'll be in the database as having that credential. And if your nonprofit has gone through a different training around how do I properly recruit, train, orient, and onboard board members, then you will be in the database as well. And then each of you can find the other. So you'll have a place to go. And I didn't invent this, I'm not the only one. The United Way has a VIP, volunteer involvement program. The Atlanta Women's Foundation has a program. There's Volunteer Match. There's lots of programs out there. But this is another opportunity for me to help the community, but also help businesses that are looking to increase their footprint in the community from a social responsibility standpoint. And they want to get involved, and they typically volunteer. Their employees volunteer. They become corporate sponsors for different events that not-for-profits have. But they want to go another level and serve on the board, but they don't know what that looks like. And so that's another constituency, if you will, that I serve in terms of working with for-profit businesses that want to know, how can I increase my participation and serve on the board of a nonprofit? So I'm going to stop there. I don't know if you want to do a Q&A or move into the next segment, but I just wanted to kind of give you a broad brush highlight of some of the hot button topics in the not-for-profit sector and how that dovetails with the work that's happening in the for-profit area in terms of them increasing their involvement through a different door. And each of us has been affected by a nonprofit in some way. If we're not working for them, we're donating, we've received services, we have family members in different stages of their lives that need different support and assistance. And so it's really to your benefit to understand what it means and how to run a nonprofit, how to manage it, and how to really engage your board members to take the pressure off of that CEO. They're running ragged and they're wearing multiple hats, and you will wear them out and they will leave if you don't take care of them and make it an annual thing to not just evaluate that CEO, but to do it in collaboration as a partner to say, what goals do you have for yourself? And what do you want to see happen here? And how can we support that as the board of directors? We're not just your boss. A lot of CEOs will tell me, but they're my boss. They're your boss, but they're also your partner, and you should use them in that way. So thank you again for allowing me to be here today and to speak with you. I wish you all were here physically because we've got a lot of food here. I wish we could channel it through the internet waves. Yes, and have to share. But thank you again, Reginald. It's been my pleasure.
Okay, now, does any?
Yes, very interesting, Brenda. Thank you for sharing. If there is an organization, nonprofit that wants to diversify their board because they're in desperate need of doing so, is that something you could help with, specifically getting people of color onto their board?
Yes. What I can do is work with that organization to show them the process they should go through and implement. I can reach out to my sources and contacts and make connections with folks and connect you with people that I know might be looking and see if it's a good fit for them and that organization. And to that question, my contact information is Glenda, Glenda, at 501cimpact.com.
I'll send that out.
Okay, yeah, that's the simplest way. I'll just give you one company's information and keep it simple. But of course, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me through the CPA practice or through the 501c Impact, which is really about that experiential learning and some other things coming down the pipeline that will be a benefit to the community that I don't offer through the other company.
So now, a question from the chat.
Yes.
Maybe wanted to know if you do board retreats. Those.
Yes, I do. Yes, I work with organizations and attend their board retreat. Full day retreats, multi-day retreats. I do facilitated strategic planning for organizations. So yes, the short answer is yes.
Okay, so now, anyone else have any questions online? So, because I just had a quick question. So let's just say, just sort of like if you could take me through the process. I come to you and say, hey, I really need your services. What's the process of going through and getting that done?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. The process is discovery. It starts with a conversation of getting an understanding of your needs. What is it you're looking to accomplish? What are your key points? And what did you have in mind about me doing for you? And then we move into the discussion of me sharing with you what I do, what I could do. And then we move forward from there. It might be the situation where I need to come in and make a brief presentation to your board and field questions from them. Most definitely, I would submit a proposal that captures what I heard in terms of what you were requesting, and then itemize what I would do as a delivery, which is typically a combination of reading a lot of documents that you have, bylaws, any processes you have in place, minutes for board meetings, and then doing some interviews with key people to get an understanding. It may involve administering a survey, doing training, doing consulting, doing coaching. It all depends on what you're looking for, and then what I can do, and then we meet in the middle about what works for your budget. So we fit it in your budget. There's a myriad of things I could do, but you can't afford all of that. It's too much. And it's not a good idea to start with the whole ocean. We're just going to start with a little lake, a stream, a pond, and build our way up. And that makes it more manageable, and it makes it easier for accountability. And you can get folks involved in that with the shared vision and on the bandwagon.
And one final question.
Yes.
So now, as a 501c3, pretty much at what stage of the game would we come? Would it be like at the beginning, sort of like in the middle, like we find out it's not working, or if it's working right, we want to make sure it continues? Like what stage of the game would you
Thank you for that. Any stage, pretty much. I do not tend to work with organizations at the startup in terms of helping them incorporate and drafting those original documents, working with the attorney, working with the state of Georgia and the IRS. However, if you have your initial board and they need to be trained, absolutely, I come in and do that. You need to have an understanding of what critical documents you should have, how you might set up your accounting function, for example. I can come in and help you with that. But there is a life cycle for nonprofit organizations, and there are stages that you go through in that life cycle. And you kind of start, you go up, you level off, and then you start perhaps declining, and you need to recover so you can go back up again instead of continuing to decline. And so along that pathway, I can plug in at different points. You'd be surprised how many organizations are very well known and do fabulous work in the community, but they still need help. If you peel back the curtain and you took a look, you'd recognize that they need help. And that's true of all of us, even as entrepreneurs. You know, we need to clean up some things in our own house as well, because we're typically a one-person show or two or three, and that's the case in a nonprofit as well. So they can certainly plug in at any stage. And if it's something that I can't do or that I don't do, that I don't offer as a service, most definitely I can connect you with others who do. It's not an area I choose to focus on. I have other colleagues and folks that I can refer out so that we have that network of support to help.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very, very much. Again, if there are no more questions, I will make sure that you all get Glenda's contact information. And I believe I saw Eric come in. Are you still there, Eric, from Eastern Banks? I believe that was who that was. Who came in. Oh well, so perhaps he dropped off, but anyway, so it is 12:48. Thank you again to Miss Glenda Hicks for that great presentation. I'm going to one more time, in case anybody did not get it, I'm going to put the Google form in so everybody can fill out the thing and put your contact information in. And again, fingers crossed, I'm going to try to get the sign-in sheets out and the recording up on the YouTube channel today. But I would suggest checking around Wednesday, maybe more so, but we're going to get that done. So unless there are any pressing important things that need to be said, I will give y'all back about 11 minutes of your wonderful Monday morning, and look forward to seeing you all next month. Next month, the presentation will be done by Creative Touch Counseling Center. So they're located right there in Conyers, but they serve the entire metro area. So they have had representatives here at the meeting before, so they're going to do the presentation next month and let everybody know what they do. So with that being said, thank you all very much. Yes, thank you, Crystal. Have a great month. Yes.
The people in the room, you'll put our name on.
Yes. Yeah, I put the I sent the link I have to y'all's phones, so if you can fill it out, or not, be either way. I can I know I can enter it in, but yes. So
Hey, Reginald,
thank y'all
quickly,
very much.
I was just
And
gonna
see
say
you next month.
quickly, Reginald,
Yes, ma'am.
before signing off, if you don't mind,
Yes.
when sending that out, send our flyer for the book signing on Ripple Effect that would be hosted next Tuesday at Results Central from 6 to 8. Love for everybody to come out. So needed because it's the rules of the road, a book about driver safety as well. Thank you. From Sabrina Kirkland.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And of course, anybody, if there are any flyers that y'all have or any just thing that you want to send out, shoot that to me. Yes, like I said, it doesn't matter because as Olivia said, East Point, College Park, Clayton County, wherever, somebody there touches DeKalb County, somebody in DeKalb County touches that area. So yes, we can get that done. But all right, good people. See you all next month.
Thank you. Great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reggie. Thanks, everyone.